It's looking promising. I think we're there, aren't we? Yes. There we go. Evening all. Hope you've had a jolly weekend. As usual, give us a thumbs up if we're coming through loud and clear. Stick your comments down below. Evening all. Oh, look, people are beating me to it tonight. Am I late? Well, maybe a little bit. My clock's wrong on the computer. Anyway, evening Peter, Paul, Peter, Gary, David. Excellent. Right, busy weekend. I've got some new goodies in. Coming across the weekend, which I'll show you some quick snaps of in a minute. Picture of a ride we're trying to track down from the 50s. Well, it's a picture from First World War, Scenic Wales ride. We're having difficulty figuring out which one it is. So we'll have a look at that. Eden Roger Lane, Pete Stella, and yeah, some pictures of some stuff that's come in. Been having a very interesting discussion today with Pete Williamson regarding pellet puppet machines, or some of them aren't pellet puppet machines, so it turns out, etc. So hopefully some of you might know some more on that to fill some gaps in. So there we are. Right, what should we have a look at first? Let's have a look at some new bits that have come in, shall we? So I haven't put much up on the site yet, but that's kind of next week's job, really. Tomorrow I'm collecting in these 10 big machines. And then I think there's some more stuff coming later in the week as well. So it'll be a week of photography, basically. Anyway, where are we? So these bits are waiting to go on the site. I think you've seen these before. 11 is a very nice reserve all-win with carousel, token pout, etc. Mutoscope with some reels as well. I'll get the reels filmed. I think there's 4 different reels. This scope doesn't come with a reel, but I'll sell the scope before the reels, so you don't need to buy a scope and then you know, worry about not getting a reel, rather than the other way around, buy a reel and then not get the scope. So that's that. Miss Mills, excuse me, front opener, Old Penny. I know that one's working because we were playing it today. Lights up. This completely fake Jennings Governor light up. Sort of like a, well, it's not really Sun Chief, is it? It's the wrong top, but yeah. But it looks the part. There's an Aristocrat mech, I think, or Jubilee, one or the other. And all WePro castings and things, so yeah. If you want the looks, it'll be cheap. The 2 Pixies, I think we decided they were in the end, weren't they? Which are rather nice. Ex-Warwick, the little amusement park, municipal park by the castle in Warwick these came from originally. Well, they've been inside for about 40 years, something like that, I think now. They're very nice. Fiberglass, about 4 foot high, I think they are. Now here's some new stuff. So we've got a Bronze Film Stars. Old Penny working nicely. Single reeler. And we've also got the sports one, which is called, what's that called? It is called sports something, isn't it? It doesn't come up real often. I just put it up, quite a rare one, this one. Hang on a minute, let me just click up the website in the background and see what it's called. So it's got football caster on it and various sports, different sportsmen. The reels, jockeys and boxers, I noticed. Not that I'm terribly up on vintage sportsmen. I think they are all sportsmen, interestingly. I guess kind of dates it in itself a bit, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Reel machines, single reeler. Don't think I've even got it listed. No, I haven't. We always haven't sold one since we've been back at the Elephant House. There you go. I'm sure it's called Sports something, if anybody knows. Anyway, one of them. Wooden aeroplane propeller. just what you need for your man cave. Hang it up on the wall. Light up Ford signs, double-sided, this one. Shove it in your garage or whatever. Oh, gramophone. Nice portable one, working. Works nicely with some records with it. Bits and bobs. Some polyphone, actually symphonian discs, I think they are, these ones, not polyphone. And they are, I have to measure them, but they're about 12 inches or so, that kind of size. I'm not sure exactly which size they are, but there's 10 or a dozen or something like that. Obviously I'll count them and list them properly in due course. A nice little music box, rosewood, Victorian, plays, you know, working. Don't know what the tunes are, but sounds quite sweet. Working model, another one of Pete Barson's creations. So this is the Burglar. Super details, 100 hours went in working these. I'll detail it all when we list it properly, but all little bricks on the walls are all individually made and then stuck on the walls and then grouted, and the floorboards are individual oak, so on and so on and so forth. So a great thing. Yeah, and obviously I'll video it running. So another working model. Oh, you've seen that already. They're going to be neon. It's about 5 foot square. In a penny arcade. Yeah. Mr. Hooper's penny arcade. Mr. Hooper's famous penny arcade, no less. Without machines, he sold all those before lockdown, I think. But yeah, the arcade trailer, which I've got measurements for somewhere. But I think he had did he have 2 machines, 2 or 3 machines across the back? I think 8, 4 down either side. Then the front flaps down, and you get another 6, I think, around that or something like that. We'll try and find some pictures of it out at events with all the machines on as well. I'm sure Dave's got some somewhere. But yeah, if you fancy travelling a few machines around this coming summer, there you go. Hasn't been used for a few years, but I'm sure a freshly good coat of paint wouldn't hurt. And what else do we got? I think that's probably it. The new bits I've listed on there. There is some other stuff in. There's some Fairground Twisted Brass. Again, we had some last time. There's another couple of bits. What else have we got? Why aren't these pictures playing around? Don't know. I clicked something wrong. I keep doing this. I think these should roll around. There we are. What else was there in there? There's a few little fairground bits, some wooden rings and blocks, hoopla rings and blocks. A couple of toys, vintage toys. So yeah, a few other bits and bobs. And then there's all these big machines coming tomorrow, which if you haven't caught up on the last video or two, I'll quickly tell you what they are. If I can find the list again, bear with me just a tick. It's on my phone here somewhere. So we've got a floor stand on the Bollinger Rose Safety, which is like a steering, like an upright steerable type game, is the easiest way to describe it if you don't know what it is. A nice pushy shooter, 30s one. A 2-player boxers, 2-player boxing machine on cast iron stand. Punch ball, 1930s one. Can't see what make it is, whether it's Aaron's or Scheffler's or Mills, but one of them, they're all pretty much the same. Cast iron platform penny in the slot scales, like railway platform ones. They look quite nice, original dial and little enamels and things on them. An original Coca-Cola vending machine, bottle vending machine, a Vendo. Not sure which model it is offhand. One of those. Novelty Merchantman crane, the one with the stripy castings on. A vocal radialist fortune teller. That one looks like it's probably for restoration. I think all the others are up and running, I think. But don't quote me on it until I get them, obviously. Another punch ball. A Lunar Rescue video game, Taito. I think it was the one after Space Invaders, in the Space Invaders cabinet. But Lunar Rescue front panel, and I assume it's Lunar Rescue game in it. Mills High Top statue in like the cocktail waitress figure. An Aaron's full team football, the outdoor version in the steel case. 22-man football, whatever it is. And then a John Wayne cowboy statue with a Mills High Top in. Alright, looks rather good with his gun in his hand and his Stetson on, etc. So picking that one up tomorrow. And obviously I'll take some snaps them to show you. I can't show the pictures the chap sent to me because they're in his house basically, so just to respect privacy, obviously there's a lot of stuff in the background, so but I'll take some snaps either as load them on the van or unload them, whichever, and then we have a look at those on Tuesday night. So yeah, it's a good batch of stuff there, should be a good sale. And with watching already, and then later in the week there's some more. I think there's some smaller machines coming in. I think there's 2 or 3 trade stims coming in, nice ones again. And another couple of bandits, I believe, coming in later in the week as well. And I'm not sure what else at the minute. Alan's coming Wednesday. I think he might be bringing some bits. So there we are. My phone's tweaking at me. What's that? I'm not coming this way by any chance. Simon, if you're listening, no, the other direction. Unless you're in London, I might be able to call in. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, so that's where we're at with all that lot. So Alan's coming Wednesday. If you've got anything to pick up, let him know. Right. What was I going to look at next? Picture. Yeah, we had this picture sent in. If you remember, New Year's Eve, we were looking at some pictures of people as kids. This one, the little lad at the front, who's 5 in this picture. This picture was taken in 1959 at Clacton. Butlins at Clacton. And that, believe it or not, for all you stockies out there, is Tony Atkins at the front there, with his little brother at the back. When Tony was 5. So we've been trying to track down which, it's obviously one of the Scenic Wales Scenic Railway rides, which one it was that went to Butlins at Clacton. I haven't quite figured it out yet. We've found other ones that went to Skegness and Littlehampton, I think. Where was the text that Adam had sent me? He's been having a look. Adam from the Fairground Heritage Trust. He said, yeah, he said where we're sure it's Clacton. Well, yeah, Clacton's written on the back of the photograph, so I'm sure it is, because Thurston's Peacocks went to Clacton. The ex-Whitings Wales went to Cleveleys. The Harry Hall one went to Skegness, which there's lots of pictures of Harry Hall Wales at Skegness, so we're pretty sure that's correct. But at the moment, so we're not sure this one is. But I remember I've definitely seen, hi Carl, I've definitely seen, and I've got somewhere, I'm not sure if it's a postcard or if it's a photograph, but I've seen the this ride without the top on it. Because you've seen the Scenic Railways and had massive tops on them, so just sort of open to the air with the whales going round. Very stripped down ride, still being run, which I'm sure was at Skegness, but also a postcard. I'm sure it's a postcard of a supercar car ride. Remember the metal cars went around like a concrete track with a steel guide which they picked up the electric from. And with these with these whale cars just dumped in there as scenery, pretty bare if I remember right, like just plain gravel or sand or whatever. With these whale cars dumped there, you've been used as planters essentially and just rotting away. And they did. I remember years ago speaking to somebody about them, wondering what happened to them, and they just did rot away and got bulldozed into the ground eventually. So yeah, so we're still looking at that one. But if anybody knows any more information, I can't get to all my fairground books at the minute. They're all in store, so I'm a bit limited as to what information I've got to hand, and I don't know where the postcards are, but I'm sure I've seen some. But we'll track it down and go from there. What was that? Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So yeah, any info, let us know. Evening, Gary. That was that. What else was we going to look at? Yeah. Let's go to the website a minute. We were looking at, I was having a very long discussion earlier on today with Pete Williamson about puppet machines. The Pelham puppet machines, which were made by Mayfield. We sold one a couple of auctions back. So we sold this one. There's a picture of it, all the different Pelham puppets in it. There's various versions of these. There's quite an interesting history. So it seems, as far as we can make out, because there's hardly any documentation, Mayfield's possibly started off and made their own puppet machine with their own in-house puppets. Then acquired, either bought second-hand possibly or partnered with Pelham's, we're not sure, we're trying to find out, and used their Christmas displays units, which are about 4 foot wide, and just literally built cabinets and just slotted them in. So, which is what this one was. The whole mechanism with all the puppets in its Dexian frame just slid out. You could slide another one in. I've got one of the shop display units which would slide in the cabinet, and I've also got another one of these machines somewhere. Can't get to it in a minute. So there does seem to be a difference, and we're trying to work out the dates of what went on where. Mayfield's, when they went bust, apparently owed Pelham's a load of money in the 60s, whenever it was they went bust. Presumably the puppet units that they hadn't paid for, which is interesting. So yeah, if anybody's got any information on those, or if we've got any puppet machines or pictures of puppet machines, because there's a few different ones, a few different themes. This is sort of a general one. I've got a the shop unit thing I've got is like I think it's like Robin Hood and Merry Men or whatever it is. I think I've got this one as well. I think it's in store. I haven't seen it for a few years. There's various other ones about. If you sort of do a bit of a Google search, you'll find. And they did the little display units as well with sort of 3 or 4 puppets in, which are about 18 inches wide, 15 inches wide. So yeah, we're trying to piece together the history of that, which is quite interesting, but undocumented. So if anybody knows anything, got any information, we were trying to work out the labels. We assume, I mean, this one we sold was 57 Trebolo 12. So we're guessing it might be 1957, the 12th machine made in 1957 perhaps, or December. You wouldn't think you put 3 zeros in the middle, so I would imagine it's 1957, 12th machine of. There's also type 57-1. So perhaps the serial number is just type 57 and number 12 of that. Type 57 version 1. Not sure. It's all very interesting. If anybody knows anything, let us know. Carl says, I spoke to Mark Greaves the other day. Oh, right. He said the last ballet conversion they made was called Alien Attack, One for Your Records. Do you know, I think we might have got a picture of that. I think I found one a while ago. Let's have a look. Greaves. Greaves Amusement Supplies. Alien Attack. There we are. Looks like a good machine. Yeah, with the spaceships on it, it'll sell really well. One of these. I think someone's got a wanted on there for one actually. Jackpot pays £1, 2p a game. Ballet conversion, Alien Attack. Oh, excellent stuff. Well, if Mark has got any information at all, would be super grateful for it. Especially anything like old sales literature and stuff like that, and dates especially. So I can put on here now that it's the last one they made, but it'd be great to know when it was made, what dates to and from, or how many, or any snippets of information on my new little factoids thing, which I showed you the other night, which I'm still working on finishing off programming. That's what that is for, all just little snippets of information. So that'd be fantastic. I'll make a note of that and I'll pop that on. I'll edit this when I finish this live stream. Alien Attack. Have you got one? Has anybody got one? I don't know where I've got this photograph. I think somebody sent it in because they were wanting one. Alien Attack. Greaves Last Machine. Just leave that there for me to sort out in a minute. He said they put new formica on the sides of the ballets, including the change box, to look like a complete new cabinet. Yeah, right. That's the only picture I've got. I think somebody sent me this picture. I think if we look on the wanteds, this might even be on there still. Somebody wanting to buy it. Must have taken it off. So I don't know where the picture came from. Wanted house, beat the dealer. Yeah. 350. Firebell, was that a Greaves as well? Probably is. Yeah. More by Greaves. What else have we got? Beat the dealer, find the lady, Firebell, Money Tree, and the Showman. Sold a Showman. I sold a few Showmen over the years. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Picture of the Alien Attack is a smart looking machine. Yeah, I think it's a great looking thing actually. Well, the Showman's quite nice. I've only seen have one result on here, but I have sold a few of these. They always sell well, of course, because of the fairground theme on them. So we get the kind of split market of the fairground collectors. If they're going to have a bandit, they like that one. Or the Arcadian, what's the aristocrat carousel? Arcadian, because of the fairground theme. But yeah, this I think if we had one of these in the auction, it'd do very well because of the spaceshipy theme. Very early 70s, isn't that typical space font with the lettering Alien Attack. I can't remember what it's called that for. I didn't know what that was called. There's been a few Showmen on eBay recently. All right. I never really have time to look on eBay. But again, if you see anything interesting on eBay, if anything interesting pops up, you know, photograph-wise, if you can pinch a photograph and send it to us, that's always good. Something we haven't got a picture of. There's a Greaves one here we didn't have a picture of. What was that? I'll Find the Lady. If we've got a picture of that, anybody, that would be useful. Or any other ones they made. Smashing. Another little bit of information is what we like. Yeah, and say then the puppet machines. Let us know anything you know about those. There's a few around on site in toy museums and places. And yeah, I've still got a couple that I used to have on site, which will be coming up for sale in sometime in the next 2 or 3 years, but I can get them out. Carl says, still has the original Beat the Dealer, offered to buy it, but he said it was going to the museum they made from the workshop of Keith, who designed his machines. Oh, right. So what's this Beat the Dealer here? Who sent me this? I don't know. So if this is original or not, I don't know where this came from. Again, I think someone sent me these pictures. I can't remember who it was to even ask. Did it light up or something happen? I'm not sure what happens, how it works. But yeah, any info would be great. Haunted Mansion was Greaves' best, including an 8-track tape player. Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion. I sold one of those. Where's that? Why is that not here? We sold one in one of the Auction of Horrors, a Haunted Mansion. I thought, oh, that's a good theme. Where's that then? Perhaps I didn't know it was a Greaves machine. Let's have a look, see if we can find it. Multi-reel machine. 3-reeler is it, I assume. Haunted Mansion. Where are we? H. The Haunted Mansion, maybe? The Haunted Mansion. Well, I'll put this down as Ballymagic. Oh yeah, Ballymagic was a trading name of Greaves, used on all the sales register to avoid a copyright lawsuit by Bally of Chicago. Bally was still using the name on the pin tables. There we go then. So we have got that one down. So it's Greaves / Ballymagic. So Greaves made it, but sold it under the Ballymagic Novelty Code trading name. Interesting. Oh yeah, there we are, Carl saying, yeah. Ballymagic because Bally threatened to sue them for using the Bally name. Can't remember if this had music in it or not. I don't think it did. I remember it coming in from somewhere and I said, oh, we'll try it in the... we sold it one of the Auctions of Horrors sales. This is the theme of it, really. £150 at the time, which at the time was quite good. That was at the time we usually got about 70 quid for Bally, so it was kind of double the price that they usually were. But yeah, nice looking thing, isn't it? Great graphics. You've got skulls and witches and things on the reels, and tombstones. Tombstones, witches, ghosts. Not the best of photographs, but it was just the one I took at the time. Haunted Mansion. Don't know who bought it. But there we are. It's around somewhere. Should be a top box with a hidden haunted feature under some dark glass. Oh, right. Well, again, if anyone's got a better picture than this one, do send it me and we can update the page. So again, it's one of these things. These company names will link together better once I've finished off my the factoid feature, which I'm busy coding at the minute. So anything clickable, you know, like these makers' names will all be clickable. So you better click that and it will go take you to Greaves, or click that and take you to Bally, and so on and so on. It'll make it much easier to trace the history through with stuff like this. When there's 2 or 3 different trading names involved or whatever. So that's good. Excellent. You see, learn something every day, don't we? What I always keep saying, we all know things. We all know little bits, little snippets of information. And once we record all these onto the website, all these little bits of info, but then rather than get them lost on dozens and dozens of different sites, they'll all be here together and be easy to find. Be a good record. Looking forward to getting cracking with it. So that's that. Anybody else any thoughts on these? Anybody got any of these machines? Used to be a time, funny enough, I was only saying the other day, Bally's used to leave them because they're just so heavy to move. And back in the day when they wouldn't, just you struggle to get 30 or 40 quid for them, even if they were good, clean working machines. And but now they seem to sell. In America, they go nuts for them. They'll make as much in America as a high top or a governor or something like that, more sometimes. especially the more kind of casino ones, but I guess it's kind of more in their culture of, you know, the casino play. Whereas over here, they tended to be in the seaside arcades on 1p, 2p. They were kind of cheap things to play. So we don't have that same kind of nostalgia for them, I guess. Interesting stuff. Yeah. What else? We were also deciding about these puppet machines. That's the Harry Corbett's. We're sort of 99.9% certain now that that was Mayfield's as well. So I'll change that. And also the Old King Cole. Again, I haven't got to make it down for it, but again, pretty certain it was Mayfield's. From what various people have said. So I will get that updated as well. I'll make a note to do that actually as well tonight. Mayfield for puppets. Super. It'd be great to find some advertising with these and some old coin slots or something. To know when they were made. Yeah. Right, what else do I need to tell you? So, auction-wise, this coming weekend, so the 15th, entries close for the auction on the 29th at the end of the month. So if you've got stuff to get to me, then get it to me this week, basically. So I'm not around tomorrow. I'm out on the road collecting these big machines in. The rest of the week, I think I'm around all week at Cambridge. Next weekend, might get to Leamington one day, I'm not sure yet. Because there's a lot going on. So don't rely on it, basically, but if you've got a whole load of stuff and you can only meet at Leamington, then let me know and we'll see what we can do for next weekend. If I can make it there at some point. Otherwise, here in Cambridge. So Alan's coming Wednesday. And then next week we'll crack on with photographs of everything. There should be a good sale. There's quite a lot of machines and not a great deal else, which is fine, really. A few fair any bits and bobs, but yeah. There we are. Any comments, questions? Anybody need to know anything? Let's put back to these pictures again. To roll these round a minute. Then fire away. Otherwise, we'll wrap things up in a minute. I'll finish my tea and go get something to eat. Get myself organised. I'll do a few updates in a minute. It says, when I was a kid, we had a toy shop in New York that had an animated pen and puppet display. Where we got my niece's puppets from. Yeah. There's a few of them around. Those of us from East Anglia, several of us remember up in at Wells next to sea in Norfolk, in Gray's Arcade on the seafront, on the harbour front there. There was a really big pen and puppet machine. Much wider. I know as a kid everything seems much bigger, but it definitely was bigger than the usual 4-foot one. I think it was like double the length, like 8 foot long or something. Huge thing. I do remember it being really long with loads and loads of puppets in it, but no one knows what happens to that. Presumably it was lost in the fire when the Gray's Arcade burnt down. If it was still there at the time of the fire. But again, it's probably a shop display one. It would appear they were all, or most of them were shop display units put into cabinets by Mayfield and Coin-Opt. But we're just trying to figure out the dates on some of them. And piece together the history from what little bit we know, really. But it's interesting stuff. Love it, really. What's weird, I think I said before, is how this relatively recent history is often harder to figure out than stuff, you know, from the 20s and 30s. There doesn't seem to be so much information on relatively recent, you know, sort of 50s, 60s, 70s stuff. So we appreciate every little snippet that anybody knows. Right, so I think that's about it. Next one will be Tuesday night with some snaps of the big machines. Again, as per, if you've got anything, send it in. Pictures, information, whatever. If you know about the Scenic at Clacton, we'd love to know for sure whose that one was. Just stick a note in here. Next video, Tuesday Eve, with photos of big machines. Next auction. Paul says, sure, I've seen a pop-up machine at old Crompton's Cakewalk double forged cabinets. Yes, you definitely have, because Dave and I bought one when we were up at Botley Bay, and we sold it to Clive when he was at Southport Pier, because I remember distinctly wheeling it down the pier. So Clive had one, if he's probably still got it. Yeah, that was in a Cakewalk cabinet, or double forged cabinet. I don't think was it double-sided? It was the double-sided Cakewalk cabinet, but I can't remember if the model was then double-sided or if one side was blanked off, to be honest. Don't think I've got a picture of that, because I think we bought it and sold it to Clive. So we'll have to get hold of Clive and see if he's still got it. So you've definitely seen that one. Peter says, Pelham's made some 6-foot units which were supplied to be used in 1, 2 or 3 units together. That's probably what the Grays one was then, wasn't it, at Wells? Maybe it was 2 6-foot units together. I don't know. I just remember it being enormous. But, it is that thing about when you're a kid, everything seems so much bigger, doesn't it? Peter W said, yeah, some of them were converted, I believe, in lower stuff. No, right. I can't remember that one we had to Clive. They weren't, well, actually, technically, they were puppets, where, of course, most Pelham puppets are not puppets, are they? They're marionettes, they're strung. Puppets hanging on strings are marionettes. Puppets are rods or like glove puppets, aren't they? They're operated from underneath, where marionettes hang down on strings. So the one that we had, which was in a Crompton's case, that was, I think it had a camshaft underneath with rods operating the puppet's arms and things. But I can't remember if they were Pelham or not. Don't know. Bring up Clive, see if he's still got it. Cole says, hi Pete. Here we are. It's massive, built into its own box, I believe, not an amusement case. The Grays one, no. There's got to be some pictures of that somewhere. Somebody must have some pictures of the outside of Grays in Wells. It's always really, really busy there. As again, it's one of those, somebody in their photograph album will have a picture of them sitting outside with a bag of chips or ice cream or something, and it'll be there, slap bang in the middle of the frame. Be great to see. It'd be great to see pictures of that arcade full stop. There's some good stuff in there. It's one of those that, a bit like Barons at Yarmouth, that was sort of a bit behind the times. But behind the times in a good way, meant there was always lots of interesting old stuff in there. But yeah, sadly in the case of Grays, most of it went up in smoke. I did have a picture somewhere, I think I showed it in one of the live streams before, of the aftermath of the fire. But yeah, when we get to program the locations thing, which is my next little bit to do on the factoids, then I can start uploading things like that. Pictures of arcades and fairs and piers and one thing and another. And then we'll see what people have got. So there we are. So good stuff, folks. Keep it coming. Any info, definitely keep it coming. And we'll get the little factoids thing programs, and you'll be able to type stuff in yourself then. More about that in due course. But, we'll collect up factoids, and you get we'll do a monthly raffle or something. I'll give you a raffle ticket for every factoid you add onto the website or something like that. That'd be a bit of fun. And yeah, see what we can find out between us. Right, so let me just post this. Next one Tuesday with the big machine. So have a jolly day tomorrow, whatever you're up to, and Tuesday. And I'll catch up with you then. You know where I am in the meantime if you want me. I think other than tomorrow, I think I'm around all week. And don't forget, end of the week, auction entries close, so I've got time to catalogue them for the 29th. That's it. Over and out, toodaloo, and catch you Tuesday.